What's happening, Wargamers? Welcome to another episode of the Dossier, the Marvel Crisis Protocol show, where we discuss all things Crisis Protocol characters. We take a look at their sculpts, the miniature itself, what it's like to assemble paint, and then we take a look at the card and what sort of stuff they bring to the table. Now, remember, these are just the opinions of us at the channel here. So definitely go and look out for more discussions. There's plenty of great discussions out there, so definitely encourage you to go do that through Facebook, Discord, or wherever that might be. And of course, if you want to keep seeing more content like this, consider hitting up the Patreon at patreon.com. It is $1 a month, but it helps fund everything that you see on this channel, helps us keep the content current, and allows me to justify more time into more content like this. Anyway, today we are going to look at Miss Doreen Green, the Squirrel Girl. And this is a model that at first I wasn't terribly excited for, but after getting her and assembling her, I actually, rather like it. I think there's something rather charming about the model itself. Very easy to put together. I love the little tippy toe or tippy tap, I believe. Tippy, I think is what his name is, on the shoulder. I think that's just an excellent little touch there. One thing I would have liked a little bit more texture in the squirrel tail itself. It was a little tricky to get highlighted to a point where I was happy with it, but otherwise it wasn't too bad to do. All in all, the model itself very simple to put together, very easy to put together. I don't remember having any too many difficulties with it, or any for that matter. But yeah, just a fun model, and I think it's kind of like that nice sort of strong pose to it. I think it works really well. It's not my favorite, but I think it is definitely one that I do really dig. I really like. I had a lot of fun painting it. Also gave me a chance to work with a lot of earth tones, which I always enjoy doing. So that was always a win in my book. But as far as the card itself, taking a look at this card here. So she is 3s across the board for her defense, 6 stamina with 4 threat, size 2, medium move. Pretty standard character for 4 threat, maybe a little low on the defensive sides, but she has some tech to make up for that. She's got her builder attack. It is a Knuckle Spike Strike, which is a range 3 5 dice attack. Your typical builder attack with a Wild Ambush. So on a wild result, you will place this character within 1 of the target character. Note that it's not a May, so you gotta do it. If you hit that wild, you gotta place them. We have Army of Squirrels, which is a range 4 6 dice attack for 2 power. If it deals damage, you're going to give them bleed and stun after the attack is resolved. And there is a wild push on a size 3 character. You can push them short. Really nice attack. I mean, it's not your biggest damage dealer that you're going to see on a lot of other 4 threats, but being able to put out both bleed and stun from range 4 for only 2 power, really kind of solid. With 6 dice, you got a good shot of doing that. I like it. You got Tippy Toe Takedown, which is an X cost active power. And this one, so basically you can spend any amount of power to use the superpower. Choose an enemy character within range 3 with a threat value equal to or lower than the power spent, and move the Tippy Toe token to that character. While that character has the Tippy Toe token, it does not add critical results in its attack, defense, or dodge rolls to its total successes, and cannot add dice based on those crits. This is a very powerful ability. It's one of those ones where you have to be careful about when you play it, because it can potentially be a costly one. But if you can toss it down on, say, I don't know, a Hulk or a Malekith or a CGR, for instance, shutting down that amount of dice is really, really good. Especially the more dice they throw and the more chances they have of getting those crits. It just makes it really, it's a really nice ability. I dig it quite a bit. We got Tibby Come Back, which is a reactive 0 power cost. When targeted by an attack, you can use a superpower, move Tippy Toe token back to this character from anywhere. Cool. Then we have Squirrelies, and there's a lot of text here. The basic gist of it is, when you have the Tippy Toe token, you can reroll up to 2 dice when making attack, defense, or dodge rolls. During the power phase, you can move this token anywhere to this character. Whenever this character is dazed or KO'd while it has the Tippy Toe token, move the Tippy Toe token back to this character. And the character cannot have a Tippy Toe token except the one it begins with in the game, which also kind of means that she's immune to her own Tippy Toe takedown, which is kind of interesting because you can't put a Tippy Toe token on her. My goodness, I'm saying Tippy Toe a lot. And then additionally, when this character is dazed, move Tippy Toe token to this character from anywhere. So the basic gist of it is she has two dice rerolls on virtually everything as long as she has Tippy Toe on her. Of course, if you use Tippy Toe Takedown, you're not going to have those rerolls. So there is sort of a give take mechanic here. You got to choose what you're looking for. Do you want to really shut somebody else down, or do you want to have a little bit more defensive stuff on her? And I mean, when you have 5 dice, 6 dice attacks with 2 rerolls, that gives you a good chunk of consistency. On the other side, not a whole lot changes. She goes down to 5 stamina from 6, and the Guardian Squirrel replaces, what's the other one called? The Tippy Comeback. Now, when she would be KO'd, if she has the Tippy Toe token, you remove the token from the game. This character removes 1 damage, is not KO'd, and may be placed within 2 of its current position. And you can't have a Tippy Toe token for the rest of the game. So basically, instead of being able to call it back as a reactive ability, you now get this ability where Tippy Toe will basically save her and keep her in the game for potentially, another activation or so, depending on how the whole setup is. Again, very powerful. Anything that can sort of like negate the big outcome of a spike is always really kind of cool. So yeah, I like it. She does have one card of note that I really like here, and it's like they say keep your enemies close. It's an unaffiliated active card. Here we go. It can be played by Squirrel Girl or Gwenpool. You pay 3 during the next attack during the next attack made by the character that played this card. If the attack targets an enemy character within 1, the target character rolls no defense dice during the attack. Very powerful in and of itself, especially if you get a really good spike on the attack. Alternatively, if they're outside of range 1, you can now place the target character within 1 of the character that played this card. So it's actually kind of a way of drawing a character in as well. So maybe grabbing a pesky character from out of range. I really like it. I think this is a really, really solid card. I think every time I've played at least Squirrel Girl, I've always used this card. Just in general, I really like it. So where does that leave us with Squirrel Girl herself? I think she's a really interesting 4-threat character. Whether or not I think she is quite up to the 4-threat level that they put her, it's a little bit debatable in my opinion. I think she brings a lot of really cool stuff to the game and to her kit, but I think she's doesn't quite have the control, doesn't quite have the damage output. So I think a lot of her threat is eaten up by the fact that she has that Tippy Toe takedown, which can be really powerful when used at the right time, and she has the ability to kind of withstand a good spike. She can be kind of tanky with 11 stamina, 2 dice rerolls, but at the same time, we've all seen how fast a lot of the web warriors can go down with those same rerolls and stamina pools. I think she's very much I don't want to call her a finesse piece, but I think she's one that will definitely complement other members of your team, but definitely not one to kind of carry the team. So right now, I think she has a home affiliation of A-Force. I can't remember if she's in Avengers. I've tried her a couple times in Defenders, and I really liked her there. I thought she brought some interesting tech to the table. I do think she's kind of interesting in Shield as well, but it's, again, very variable. She does have the range to kind of play in with the rest of the gun line here, and her ability to put both bleed and stun onto a character, especially for so cheap, is really kind of nice and does help the rest of the shield mechanics kind of do what they want to do there. Otherwise, she's not terribly power hungry unless you're trying to get Tippy Toe onto like a 5, 6, or 7 threat type character. So she also makes for kind of a good battery. If you're just trying to gain some power with her, she'll definitely do that. She does have some nice movement between her medium move and her ambush. She can kind of get around the table with a couple really good attacks, so she might be good for grabbing a backfield objective, for instance, or just kind of going to bully on some of those support characters that make it into a bunch of games. But yeah, so that is Squirrel Girl Doreen Gray. A rather fun character. Was not expecting too much of it when she came out, but I've had fun with her every time I put her on the table. So definitely leave your thoughts and comments below. Get involved in the discussion. Let us know what you like, don't like, all this sort of great stuff. And we will see you next time. Happy wargaming.